Yeah, I know.
It was good to get our first conference win on the road and go in an environment like Pittsburgh, a team that has beaten us the last 2 years. And for our players, we didn't come out of the gates well in the beginning, but the key play was right there at the second quarter, right before we went into halftime. We made a fourth down stop, and then we were able to get the ball back. Our offense Teddy connected with Devontae Parker down the sideline for a big catch. They were able to kick a field goal. Come out to start a second half, Teddy connects with Devontae again. 75-yard touchdown pass, and then our offense got back on pace and just the rhythm and the tempo of our offense. And defensively, we had 3 stops there where they only had 19 yards, but we like not to have given up that touchdown right there at the end of the game because we had played so well up to that point, which we could have just executed the defense. That's what we didn't do. But we know South Florida is going to be another challenge for us. It's a team that's extremely talented, a team that has a lot of seniors. And we just know this, we can't lose our focus. We have to execute and we have to finish. And each game is going to be like this within this league, a very competitive league. And you look at it right now, there's 3 teams undefeated in this league. Along with ourselves, you look at Cincinnati, look at Rutgers, 2 good teams that are playing well. Temple played well, going to get the win at Connecticut. So we just know that we can't worry about what is in front of us. We know we have to take one game at a time, and the game this week is going to be South Florida. We have to be prepared to play.
Charlie, you talk about Sinowers, and this time last year I think he was just special teams, correct, mostly. What went into moving him to that side of the ball, and when did you guys decide that?
I don't know. We was very smart as coaches. We had Sinowers at defensive back, and if you remember 2 years ago against Cincinnati, Johnny Patrick goes down. We put Sinowers in at a DB, and we was trying to get him to move up on the wide receiver, and my man had given him a cushion like at 10 yards. Then he came in and said, "Coach, I'd like to go play running back." And we said, "Well, let's give him an opportunity," because at the time we just didn't have Bilal had left, so we was just trying to find some running backs. Jeremy Wright had gotten an injury in the spring, so we put Sinowers at running back and ran the ball very well against our defense. And with that game Saturday, to have the 4 touchdowns and then to break the 59-yard run was. The thing he does is he is so fast that if he gets get a step on someone, he can outrun him. Plus, he runs behind his pads and he can just run through defenders. But him and Jeremy Wright both are playing so well for us.
What about his vision, Charlie? Does he really see things in the hole? It seems like, at least on Saturday, he was making some moves that a hole wasn't there and all of a sudden it just opened up.
And sometimes, even at practice, I tell him, Coach Carter tells him, reminds him all the time, he fakes when he doesn't need to. It's almost like he fakes himself back into a defender, but he's just one of those guys, he can get his foot in the ground and he can get from point A to point B so quickly. And that's what, you look at that 59-yard run, the seam wasn't really there and he kept following the blocker, then all of a sudden he gets a crease and he hits the crease and he's down the sideline. I told him he should tell our offensive line he did such a good job because I think with 3 of those touchdowns, he never got touched at the point of attack. We were able to move defenders out of the way with the line, opening up the holes.
Talk about the line and what they have done. And you had Cameron in there. I think he got injured. But, and then Matt came in. Just what they've done as a line.
Well, Coach Borbs has done a great job because if you think about it, the way we started off with Jamon, Jake Smith, Mario, Miller, and then Cup. So then we lose Miller in the game. So now what we're trying to do, we're trying to piece together. So Cameron Joyer comes in and played extremely well, was playing well. Comes up to me at halftime, goes down right before half. I didn't even see him go down. Comes up to me and says, "Coach, I'll be ready to go." Comes back in to start the second half and played well. But we were able to take Mac and we moved some pieces around. And that's what we're kind of doing at offensive line because really we got about 7 or 8 linemen and we just got to move them around. And just game by game, whoever is going to be there, and Coach Borbs, they get them prepared to play. Our system is not that complicated, guys. Just got to know, just get a hat on the defender. Let's move them out of the way.
Is Cameron okay? And what about Miller in the update?
Miller, we're probably yesterday he did not practice, so we won't practice today. So we'll see where we are tomorrow with him. And same thing with Cameron Joyer. I think we took him down just to see what kind of test we get back on.
Charlie, as good as Teddy has been, is the running game, is that really the key to this offense? The way that it's kind of been rolling?
It's so critical to our offense because it's run and pass. And if you watch our offense, we are a play-action bootleg team where we try to get the ball down the field. But in order for Teddy to have the game that he's having right now, playing as well as he's playing, is that we have to be able to run the football. And we've been able to run the ball up to this far. And our two running backs, and like I said, our offensive line, just protection. And you're looking at the start of the third quarter. It was such a great play action. Teddy kind of hit the ball. They thought he was coming with an ISO. He hides the ball, and Devontae, double moves the corner, and there he's off and running to the races.
What impressed you about South Florida? They've struggled. Said they got a lot of talent, but they haven't won for a couple of years, actually.
Well, you look at South Florida, it's a team that anywhere from, 22 to 23 seniors, and a lot of those seniors are fifth-year seniors. So the talent is there, and it's all about them just playing together. The quarterbacks is extremely talented. B.J. Daniels, he runs and throws the ball very well. But, what's been key for them, it's just all about just coming together and just playing together for that football team.
Why do you think they've struggled over the last 4 weeks?
I just hadn't had really enough time to really watch them and look at them. Because, it's just so hard to, take a team and point them and say they got their issues, but we better look at ours, I just want to make sure I don't have those issues.
How's Daniel Brown doing, and are there any other injuries that came up?
Well, if you look at it, Daniel Brown, what I've told him is that right now we don't need him because of the two running backs that are playing so well.
Linebacker.
Oh, Daniel Brown, I'm sorry. Dominique, I'm thinking about Daniel Brown. Daniel Brown is still, with this injury, we don't expect him back right now because he's still nursing through that.
And I guess, Dominique, what kind of conversations have you had with him just mentally with the players?
Well, here's what I told Dominique. I said right now, with the running back situation the way it is right now, I don't really need him because those two are playing so well. And if we can get through the season without playing him, we have a chance to redshirt him.
And does he like that idea? What's his response?
I think he likes that idea because, it's just so hard to play three because it just isn't enough carries for all three of them. And you look at the way Sonoris and Jeremy's playing now, it wouldn't be fair to him to take him out there and just play him, 10 or 11 snaps.
21 points in the third quarter. Can you give us a brief version of your halftime speech? What did you say to the guys?
No, you don't want to hear that halftime speech because it wasn't. No, what I said to our football team is we just haven't played well. We can play better than what we're playing right now, and it is. And we can't lose our focus. And what we have to do is get back on track on offense, get the tempo. The tempo on offense have to come, and then defensively we have to go get stops and get the ball back to our offense. And that's what we didn't do in the first half, and we just gave it to them. You look at that opening drive, they take the ball in the opening drive. We get them to third down. Quarterback gets outside the pocket, throws a dart down the field. Guys actually scrambling, the guy runs away from our defender, and then we're in man coverage, and the guy beats us on a corner route, and it just can't. It's very unacceptable. And then on offense, we just, we wasted 2 timeouts where we weren't on tempo, where we get up to the line of scrimmage, get the play call, let's run the play, and we weren't. We just kind of it just wasn't no energy, and that's why I said to him, where's the energy at? I mean, we got to get it going here in the second half. We got to start playing better.
Charlie, you guys are 6-0, bowl eligible, and for the first time since you've been here, that's almost kind of an afterthought. Does that feel good?
Oh, it feels good, but if you think about it, you're right. The last 2 years goes down to that last game to get to bowl eligible. First year was the last game, and then last year we had to go to Connecticut, and then we were able to go to South Florida and get number 7. But it feels good that our team is playing so well. We're not even talking about, just being bowl eligible right now. We're just hey, there's still games in front of us. Let's go play those games, and everything else will take care of itself.
Well, you're halfway through. Are you ahead of where you thought you'd be, or how do you evaluate this team halfway through the season?
Well, right now you're sitting at 6-0, so you like the position that you're in, but you still have 6 more games to go play. So we just can't get full of ourselves, and let's not. Hey, we still have games in front of us. Let's make sure that we take care of our business.
I mean, you satisfied with the way you played so far, or?
Well, we could have played better at times, but if you look at it, you played well against Kentucky, then Missouri State, then you go into North Carolina. You played a really good first half and second half, and then the next 2 games, when you look at FIU and you look at Southern Miss, we weren't that same team that we saw the first half of North Carolina. Now you saw some of that team the second half of Pittsburgh, but we had to become a consistent football team, and we haven't been very consistent right now. And that's what it's all about, just building just our consistency and our focus and execute. Just execute the defense, execute the offense. and special teams, all three phases of the game.
You said, excuse me, you said before the big game, we're gonna find out how tough we are. Excuse me. Did you see any players in particular that really shine in terms of toughness?
Well, it was the reason why I said that Pitt has always had just that aura about them that they're just going to run the ball. And even with Paul coming from Wisconsin, that's what they've been about. So the toughness was all about they're going to just take the football and try to run right at us. But you know, we're a tough football team ourselves, and I tell our players it all the time. We practice. We're going to run the football also. So if a team is tougher than us, if they can run the ball against us, and we can't stop them, then we have issues. But if you look at it, our freshman linebacker Keith Brown played extremely well. He hit the ball anywhere from he had like 7 unassisted tackles, and I think we counted like 11 assists. But he played extremely well for his start. But we just have to run around on defense. And up front, Malden played very well up front. Brandon Dunn probably had the best game that he's had the whole season. But our front 7 played well. We just, in our secondary, we got to get better.
Many undefeated teams that are giving up 21 points a game. What is your comfort level with your defense right now?
Well, we have to play better. And if you look at us defensively, as you watch us play, and we can play about 4 good series, and then all of a sudden, boom, we give up a play that we shouldn't give up. And that happened to us there on Saturday. You look at the start of the second half. You were playing well, then we give up two touchdowns in the fourth quarter, which there's no way we should have given up those touchdowns. And our guys understand. But what's really good is that our players understand that. And the players, they know that they have to play much better than what we're playing. And it's good that you're beginning to see that within this football team, within this program, that they know the standard has been risen, and they understand that, hey, we got to play better than what we're playing, guys.
As explosive as you've been on offense, did you anticipate going in that you would have to win a lot of shootout games rather than?
Well, if you think about it, the only shootout was what North Carolina when they came back, but we had such a big lead. But it's still going to be, at the end of the day, you still got to go play defense. You have to play defense.
Charlie, during the open week, you were asked about recruiting. You said winning takes care of that. In college football, how much does winning, does it take care of it now, or is it more of the future recruiting? Your class is kind of small this time. I mean, when you're 6-0, can you use that right now?
Well, what happens is the recruits see that right now. And so the reason why I made that statement is that even at the end of the season, you're going to have to see where you are. But it's easier to go into a home when you're 6-0 or when you're 7-0 and say, hey, look where we are, because they're watching the national picture themselves. But our class is so small right now. We just have to make sure that when we sit down and talk about recruiting, exactly where our needs are and what can we really, we have to, I want to shore up the offensive and defensive line. I'd like to get that, but do we have enough scholarships to go in that direction is going to be our key.
How nice is it to be back home after a month away?
Oh, it's going to be good to come back home to our fans. And we have, if you look at our crowd at Pittsburgh, we had us a really nice crowd there for them to travel up to that game. But it's good to always come back home and come back into our place. And now I tell our players, now we're back home, we have to defend our home stadium.
Charlie, 6 games in, is it safe to define this team as an offensive team that you will win off of what your offense does?
No, you can't say that because there's still 3 phases, and you just can't say, hey, offensively, we're scoring points on offense. We have really good skill on offense, but if you look at it at North Carolina, we had a big half in the first half against them, and then the second half, the defense had to go out there and make a stop there at the last drive. You look at Southern Miss, and that downpour rain defensively, you had to go play well because you couldn't throw the ball on offense. But it's a team, and you just can't say, hey, it's offense, it's defense, it's special teams, and this is what you drill to this team. Hey, it's all about everyone just doing their job, whether they're on offense, whether they're on defense, or special team. It's everybody doing their job. There's no one special player. There's no one special phase of it. It's everybody as a football team.
Has Charles Gaines just been used less? Is there a reason he's not maybe getting the ball as much as he was on the field?
No, he's playing. He's caught one pass on Saturday, but you look at the one that we threw 3 of them out there to Devontae, but the ball is being spread around, and Teddy's doing a good job of just spreading the football around.
Was Devontae a bigger part of the game plan? I mean, this was kind of what we've all been waiting for in terms of him.
No, it wasn't so much, and it's the same thing. It wasn't so much one particular guy who's involved with all the game plan, because you look at Andrell, you look at the one we threw to Copeland, and and we missed the throw to Colt. But you know, we have enough speed at wide receiver. We have enough guys that can put pressure on the defenders that if he finds the open one, he's going to throw it to him.
This is still a young team, but handling success at this point. What's your message to them this week to handle this game before potentially a big matchup with Cincinnati?
We're not even thinking about Cincinnati, and it has to be. And what you like to talk to them about is it's just a one-game season. So South Florida, and I told them that South Florida is in the same position we were in a year ago. They were 2-4, and we were 2-4. And then we had Rutgers coming in at 5-1. So we ended up beating them, and then we ended up beating Syracuse right after that. But it's all about just, guys, our only focus right now, the only team we need to worry about right now is South Florida. And if our players take on that attitude, then we'll be fine. But we can't look down the road. Let's make sure we just handle what's in front of us right now.
Has there been a shift in terms of the rules that promote more scoring than we've seen in previous years?
No, we're just this defensively, we're not stopping anybody.
No, I mean specifically, but nationwide.
I'm just saying, I'm saying as defense coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not saying our team. I'm just saying as defensive coaches across the country. But you look at it. But what offenses are doing is everything's a mismatch. I mean, you look at us. When we can line up with Gaines, Devontae, Andrell, and Copeland, you put those four guys on the field. There's defenders. You will put all kind of pressure on defenders because they can't cover all four because you have enough speed where you're just going to run by people. And if you just look across the country, everybody's looking for a mismatch, and everyone is looking for, hey, you know, who can we just get one-on-one? And the ball is out of the quarterback's hands so quickly that they're getting the ball in their hands, and the only thing you need to do now is make one guy miss, and you're off to the races. But no, just as a defensive coach, just even across the country, it's all about mismatches, and it's about you just trying to find what a weak defender is. Because they're, and then when you now with so much pressure, when you come with pressure, is that they can see the pressure coming now. Because there's no way, you know, you got to bring a safety, you got to drop a safety down one way or the other. So when they see the safety drop, then they see you one high, then they know where the ball is going to go on one high. Now if you're going to keep the safety back there too high, now if you're good enough to go run the ball, just hand the ball off and run the football. And then so many quarterbacks can run and throw. You know, like you bring pressure on Teddy, if he gets outside the pocket, you have an issue. So now you're trying to keep the ball corralled. So your pass rush, what happens now when you talk about you guys about rushing the passer, you tell him if you beat the guy, you have to go sack that quarterback because if he outruns us and gets outside the pocket, our first third down we had it was third and 8, wasn't it? And we brought an outside pressure and we were playing man under, and the guy beat. Once the quarterback got outside the pocket and he was able to scramble to the outside and find an open area, he beat our defender in man under. And we're in man under. So he beats him, and the receiver just jukes him, and then he sees him scrambling, just takes off, and he makes a good throw. So it's all about just keeping the quarterback corralled, not letting the ball outside the pocket, and with the mismatches, just making sure if you're going to bring the pressure that you got to keep it, and you got to hide that pressure. You got to just make sure that those safeties don't show because that's all you have to do. You find those safeties, you'll find pressure.
As a defensive coach, how do you respond when you see West Virginia, Baylor 70-63?
I just hope I'm never in one of those games. I just hope our defense isn't winning one of those games. But but what you have to do too is it's all about, you know, when you get in those type of games, there you running the football, trying to keep the ball away from it. If another offense is that explosive, just try to keep the ball, just limit their possessions.
This is the third year you're seeing B.J. Daniels. What kind of growth has he had down there at South Florida?
Well, he continues to get better, and that team is going to go as B.J. goes. If he has a good game, then they eventually will have a good game. It's because he's a quarterback, and he's been there a while, and he's been running that offense, and he's been in that system now for 3 years. Actually been in it 4 years, because his freshman year he was actually a starter.
He's already surpassed his interception total from last year, though, through these games. I think it's at 8 right now. Is it, I mean, from what you've seen on film, is it a matter of him maybe just not being on the same page with receivers sometimes, or is he making a bad decision?
Well, it probably is a combination of both, because it's just so hard to say, because, you know, you see sometimes the defender makes a good break on the ball also.
When the end of the half there, when Devontae made that catch. John came in, and that was his career long. Can you just talk? I mean, he's been pretty much perfect. I think 5 for 5. He missed the one extra point in the torrential downpour down there, but I mean, pretty much perfect for him this year.
He has, and the thing about Wallace, he has a strong enough leg because you really don't know what his distance is. Because some days at practice he will hit one and you go like, wow, then he'll miss a short one. But every time that he's been in the game, he's made the kicks for us. And that's all. We were just trying to get in field goal range, and that's what I told Watt. Hey, Watt, get the ball in field goal range, and let's line up and kick a field goal and get out of here. Now, if Devontae had to slip that tackle and score, we would have really loved that. But just Wallace going out there and the thing you like about him, nothing bothers him, just nothing phases him. He just line up and just kicks the ball, and then we're able to hit that field goal.
So where would you feel comfortable with his?
I told Kenny, I said probably he's anywhere from, he's probably 49. If you put him at 49, he probably can hit it if he hits it right. I mean, with any kicker though, but he probably could hit it from there.
Staying with the end of the half, why go for it on 4th down? Why did you think that was important?
Well, what we were looking at is that, I looked at the clock, and I think they got the ball back at midfield with 2 minutes to go in the game. So I said, I told Vance, I said, if we get them to 3rd down, if we get it to 2nd down, we stop them on 2nd, I'm going to call a timeout on 3rd. And so then if we go stop them, we can get the ball back, because now they're going to have to make a decision, either punt the ball or what. So they went for it on 4th down. But they were probably thinking like us, if they get the 4th down, if they get it, then they get a field goal, now they're up by 10. So that was a 10-point swing in our favor, because now we get the 3, and then we bounce back, start second half, and get 7. So that 10 points it helped us. But we were able to go get the stop, because it was 4th and 2, so they probably figured, hey, we can make 2 points, and we get the ball back with no timeouts, and it's 50 seconds. So, and then we make the big throw. And that was a big, the throw and catch by Teddy and Devontae, that was a big time. Devontae made that same catch at practice on Wednesday in the red zone. The same catch, threw a ball up in the red zone. He goes up the same way and makes it. That's exactly what it was on Wednesday, that same catch, and he made it on their guy. But he is so talented and so athletic, and so if you get the ball up to him, it's a good chance he's going to come down with it.
How's Bouchel doing?
Bouchel is playing well. The thing about Bouchel is he's playing outside of nickel. Outside of corner. Then when we need him at nickel backer, he plays the nickel for us also. But he's our kickoff returner also. So he's doing a good job.
Was he used Saturday at kickoff?
Yes, he returned most of them were kicked away from him. I think he may have brought one back out, but most of them were kicked away from him to Jeremy.
Another big week for you on 3rd down. What does it say about a team that continues to have success converting on those 3rd downs?
Well, it just puts so much pressure on the defense. And you watch Teddy, the throw that he made to Eli was a big throw. Eli makes an unbelievable catch. He made the bad rad to Scott Ratcliffe was another big throw there that he made. Then the first drive, he scrambles to get outside, and Andrell comes across. He hits Andrell, and that's when we get it right there on the 5-yard line. But and that's what he was talking about earlier. When you talk about bringing pressure and it's 3rd down, when you bring the pressure on 3rd down, you have to get there, because if a quarterback is mobile enough to get outside the pocket, then it's a good chance his percentage rate goes up, because he can complete that ball. And that's when Teddy, but the good thing about him, he can sit in the pocket and make the throw. And the throw he made to Eli Rogers, kind of a floater, and Eli just lays out and makes the catch.
Is there a common thread, though, for teams that do have success on 3rd down? What is it? What's that concoction that goes into?
Well, it just breaks your momentum on defense. You get it to 3rd down, and you want to get off the field, and all of a sudden, boom, they get the 1st down. Now you got to go play 3 more downs, and boom, they get another 1st down. But you want to get off the field on 3rd down, because that's your build-up. Hey, we got to play great 3rd down defense. That's all the thing we talk about. Get off the field on 3rd down.
One of the improvements that Teddy's made that nobody talks about, because it's not one of those big things, is that he doesn't get nicked very often. He gets out of the pocket on time. He makes the run, tries to throw. If he doesn't, he's throwing it out of bounds. He's sliding. He doesn't get nicked very much.
He doesn't. But if you ever watch, if a defender does come on him, he feel like he's strong enough where he can get that guy off. And if one guy comes, he feel like he can make a miss. And when he give up the sacks, and when they get him corralled, which is talk about get him in the pocket and don't let him out. But he gets rid of the football. He is so much. Where he's different than a year ago is that just studying the game, knowing where the pressure comes, setting the protection to the pressure. So knowing that when I slide the protection to the pressure, then I have a chance to get the ball out. And that's what he does, because he sees it right away now. And that's why a lot of times you see him at the line of scrimmage, you're trying to say, I'm like, come on, let's go. And he's like, well, Coach, I got to see which way they're coming with the pressure, because I know they're coming from somewhere. But I said, well, I'm looking at the play clock. I want to get that ball snapped, make sure we don't give him 5 yards here. But he is. It just being a student of the game and just being able to visualize it and see it all.
You told us before the year that the South Florida game was where you really learned a lot about Teddy, the way he handled it at the end of the half. In the years since then, to this game again, going for your 7th win, that growth, what kind of Teddy are we getting this South Florida game compared to the last one?
Well, and you look at it, the throw before half there, look at the throws he made even this season before the half and where we get the ball. And that's one thing you like about him is just he just want to just learn the game, and he's consistently in with Coach Watson, and they're always meeting and they're talking and just watching film where he wants to understand it, and he does. And now he's able to see the big picture, and that's where he's just so much better than a year ago. Familiarity with Skip's staff. A lot of you guys have coached with them. How friendly is that rivalry, that relationship? Well, Skip and I were together. When I went to Notre Dame, he was leaving, but we were together at South Carolina. He was the offensive coordinator. I was the defensive coordinator. But we've always stayed in contact with one another. We have a really good relationship. And then some of those guys on the coaching staff, like Todd Fitch and I, were together at South Carolina. So we know that coaching staff very well.
Coach, Alex Cupper isn't a prototype left tackle. Is just kind of his intelligence and understanding of the entire system what makes him valuable out there?
Cup is our best offensive line. There's no guy on our offensive line can play. Cupper can play tackle, he can play guard, he can play center, he can play anywhere you need him. And the thing about him, you're right, he's not the big physical looking guy that you see, athlete, but he is so smart and he understands his limitations. And he just knows what he has to do to go make the block. You look at him at left tackle, I mean, the guy is unbelievable. I mean, it's just so fun to watch him, just how, and he just competes. He's one of those guys that when you talk about a guy who's smart and plays hard, that's what he does. He is smart and he plays hard. And he competes. He competes every snap. So if I said, hey, Cup, if something was to happen to Mario and Cup had to go to center, we wouldn't miss a beat because he'll go right in the center, make the calls, make the checks, and he get us in the right place and get us where we need to go.
All right, guys.
Okay, thanks, guys.